Is the city of angels becoming the city of unease? From the dazzling lights of Hollywood to the sun-kissed beaches, Los Angeles projects an image of aspirational living, a dream woven into the very fabric of American culture. But lately, a different narrative has emerged, one that whispers a growing fear of a city grappled with its sense of security. We see the headlines, we hear the anecdotes, and we can't help but ask, is LA truly safe anymore? And more importantly, do you feel safe living here, working here, or even just visiting? We want to hear your unfiltered experiences in the comments below. The official reports from LAPD and City Hall often paint a picture of progress, celebrating significant drops in violent crime and homicides. And yes, on paper, those numbers can look reassuring. We're told that crime is trending downwards, that Los Angeles is on the mend. But is that the whole story? Do those statistics truly reflect the lived reality of Angelinos, the growing anxieties, and the tangible impact of crime on daily life? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Official crime statistics, while valuable, are often just one piece of a much larger, more complex puzzle. They don't always capture the pervasive fear of retail theft, the quality of life crimes that erode a sense of community, or the shifting geographical hotspots that make some neighborhoods feel dramatically different from others. They rarely account for what isn't reported, or the nuances of how crime impacts public perception. In this video, we're diving deep beyond the headlines and the official press releases. We're going to examine what the crime statistics don't tell you, explore the hidden challenges, and uncover the real story behind the shifting sands of safety in Los Angeles. Because feeling safe isn't just about numbers. It's about peace of mind, and for many in LA, that peace feels increasingly fragile. The numbers say crime is down, but are we being misled? Let's get down to the numbers, shall we? If you follow official reports, Los Angeles is on a promising path. Mayor Karen Bass and LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell have frequently highlighted what appears to be a significant turnaround in public safety. According to recent LAPD data for 2024, the city has seen a 14% reduction in homicides and a 19% drop in shooting victims compared to the previous year. Overall, the narrative from city authorities is one of declining violent and property crimes since 2021, painting a picture of a city steadily becoming safer. This is a good news spin, and it's certainly what many want to hear. But here's where we need to apply a critical lens. While these figures offer a glimpse into reported crime, they don't necessarily reflect the full, complex reality on the ground. The truth is, crime statistics are a numbers game, and sometimes what they don't tell you is more crucial than what they do. Let's talk about underreporting. This is a new phenomenon, and it's certainly not unique to Los Angeles. Historically, the LAPD itself has faced scrutiny for how it categorizes crimes. For example, investigations revealed that between 2005 and 2012, the department misclassified an estimated 14,000 aggravated assaults as minor offenses, effectively making violent crime rates appear lower than they actually were. This practice, whether intentional or due to procedural pressures like those associated with the CompStat system, creates a distorted view. The critical question remains, are similar issues, perhaps more subtle, still influencing the numbers today? Beyond historical misclassification, there's a pervasive issue of reporting bias. The reality is, a significant portion of crimes simply never get reported to the police. National data from 2019 showed that only about 40.9% of violent crimes and 32.5% of property crimes were reported to authorities. In a city like Los Angeles, with its diverse communities and varying levels of trust in law enforcement, these figures can fluctuate even more dramatically. Why don't people report? Reasons are manifold. Fear of retaliation, especially from notorious gang members in certain neighborhoods, a belief that the police won't or can't do anything, or simply viewing the incident as too trivial or a private matter. If crimes are reported, they don't make it into the official statistics, creating an artificial sense of declining crime. This brings us to the crucial disconnect between perception and reality. Even when certain categories of crime show a statistical decline, public fear can and often does spike. This isn't just an irrational response. It's often fueled by media coverage that highlights particularly shocking or visible incidents, by political narratives that emphasize public safety concerns, and by the cumulative impact of quality of life crimes like brazen retail theft or open drug use that erode a community's sense of order and safety, even if they don't always register as high-level violent crimes in official reports. People's personal experiences or those of their neighbors often outweigh abstract percentages. The official statistics are a starting point, but they are far from the complete picture of what's truly happening on the streets of Los Angeles. To understand if LA is truly safe, we need to dig deeper than the numbers game. Neighborhood divide, where LA feels safe and where it doesn't. Beyond the broad strokes of official crime statistics lies a hidden landscape, one that significantly impacts the daily lives and sense of security for Angelinos. We're talking about the insidious creep of certain crimes that, while perhaps not always categorized as violent in the headlines, contribute to a pervasive feeling of unease. One of the most visible and economically damaging trends gripping Los Angeles is the rise of retail theft and organized crime. We've all seen the shocking smash-and-grab videos. Flash mobs ransacking luxury boutiques, brazen shoplifters clearing out entire aisles in drugstores, and even vehicles ramming into storefronts. While an individual incident might be classified as property crime, the sheer scale and organized nature of these thefts paint a far more concerning picture. These aren't just isolated acts of desperation. They're often orchestrated by sophisticated criminal rings. The impact extends far beyond the immediate loss for businesses. Stores are forced to raise prices to offset losses, impacting every consumer's wallet. Many small businesses, unable to absorb the constant hits, are shutting down, leaving behind empty storefronts and further eroding the vibrancy of neighborhoods. The good news is law enforcement is fighting back. In 2024, authorities recovered over $36 million in stolen property and made 427 arrests linked to these organized retail theft rings. But the battle is far from over. Furthermore, Los Angeles is not a monolith when it comes to crime. The city's vast geographical spread means that experiences of safety can vary dramatically from one neighborhood to the next. While areas like Bel Air or Pacific Palisades boast remarkably low violent and property crime rates, other communities bear a disproportionately heavy burden. Downtown LA, for instance, reports significantly higher violent and property crime rates. Skid Row, unfortunately, remains an area with some of the highest crime rates, a stark indicator of persistent social and economic challenges. South Los Angeles also continues to grapple with elevated crime levels, often a legacy of historical disinvestment and systemic issues. This geographic disparity means that while citywide numbers might improve, the lived experience for residents in these harder-hit areas remains challenging, far from feeling safe. Another critical and escalating crisis that profoundly impacts public safety is the surge in fentanyl. This synthetic opioid is far more potent and deadly than many other illicit drugs, leading to a dramatic increase in overdoses. The numbers are alarming. Los Angeles has seen a staggering increase in fentanyl-related arrests. While specific 2025 data on arrests isn't fully available yet, the trend shows a relentless rise, with significant increases in previous years. This crisis isn't confined to back alleys. It's spilling into public spaces, creating new hotspots in areas like Hollywood, where open drug use and associated criminal activity are increasingly visible. The human cost is immeasurable, and the strain on emergency services and public health infrastructure is immense. Finally, we must acknowledge the often overlooked quality-of-life crimes. These are the seemingly minor offenses that chip away at the fabric of urban living and directly impact residents' sense of safety and well-being. We're talking about rampant public drug use, pervasive vandalism like graffiti, and petty theft that, while perhaps not violent, creates an atmosphere of disorder and impunity. A broken streetlight in a park, persistent panhandling that crosses into harassment, or constant petty shoplifting can make residents feel less secure, less valued, and more vulnerable. These issues might not always generate headline statistics, but they contribute significantly to the erosion of public trust and the feeling that the city is losing control. When these minor issues go unaddressed, they can unfortunately pave the way for more serious criminal activity, creating a ripple effect that ultimately impacts everyone. When opportunity vanishes, crime follows. beyond the statistics and the headlines. The crime crisis in Los Angeles is fueled by deeply human elements, complex social challenges that intertwine with criminal activity in ways that are often misunderstood. To truly grasp the situation, we need to look at the underlying factors. Perhaps one of the most visible and contentious issues is the complex relationship between homelessness and crime. It's a topic often oversimplified or sensationalized, but the reality is far more nuanced. We must acknowledge that individuals experiencing homelessness are disproportionately both victims and, in some cases, suspects in crimes. It's a tragic cycle that traps many. Data from 2018 to 2021 indicates that while homeless individuals constituted only about 1% of LA's population, they were suspects in a notable 6 to 8% of all crimes and a more alarming 11 to 15% of violent crimes. These figures are unsettling and highlight a clear overrepresentation. However, it's crucial to understand that being homeless does not inherently make someone a criminal. In fact, homeless individuals are far more likely to be victims of crime. A powerful 2022 survey focusing on homeless women, for example, revealed devastating rates of victimization. 57.9% reported experiencing theft, 43.1% endured harassment, and a shocking 35.3% have been physically attacked. These are individuals living in highly vulnerable circumstances, often without the safety nets of stable housing, privacy, or secure storage of their belongings, making them easy targets. Emphasizing this is vital to move beyond harmful stereotypes and understand the multifaceted nature of public safety in the context of homelessness. Addressing homelessness isn't just a humanitarian issue. It's a public safety imperative for everyone. Another profound driver of crime is socioeconomic disparity. Los Angeles is a city of incredible wealth, but also profound poverty. This income inequality, coupled with severe lack of resources in certain communities, creates fertile ground for social disorganization and, subsequently, higher crime rates. Think about the stark contrast between, say, West LA's affluent neighborhoods, boasting top-tier schools, abundant healthcare facilities, and well-maintained public spaces, versus areas in Central or South LA, where residents often face underfunded schools, limited access to quality healthcare, and a scarcity of vital social services. When communities lack legitimate pathways to economic opportunity, education, and health, desperation can set in. This systemic disadvantage breeds environments where crime can become a more viable, albeit destructive, option for some. It's not just about individual choices. Finally, while often sensationalized, gang activity continues to be a significant factor in LA's crime landscape, particularly in specific communities. Gangs exploit socioeconomic vulnerabilities, drawing in young people who see limited alternatives. They are often responsible for a substantial portion of the city's violent crime, particularly homicides and shootings. However, it's not a lost cause. Los Angeles has invested in targeted programs that recognize the need for a different approach. Initiatives like the Gang Reduction and Youth Development GRYD program and the Community Safety Partnership CSP are showing real success. By building trust between law enforcement and residents, providing intervention and prevention services, and creating genuine pathways out of gang life, these programs have reported remarkable achievements. For instance, GRYD participating areas have seen up to a 40% reduction in gang-related homicides. This demonstrates that while the human elements fueling crime are complex, so too are the human solutions. Solutions rooted in understanding, intervention, and community empowerment.